By the powers vested in me, I declare the ceremony open. Please be seated. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Janice Johnson. On behalf of Netcare Education team, it is my pleasure to welcome you as the Master of Ceremonies today. You may be seated. I would like to request at this stage that you please ensure that all cell phones are switched off or placed on silence. I would also like to remind you that guests are requested to not leave the venue until the end of this morning's formal proceedings. I now call upon our Netcare Education students to do an official, warm South African welcome.
Hello, students, friends, colleagues, parents, welcome.
Goedemorgen en welkom.
Dumelang, Absheni,
Molweni.
Sambonani. Welcome.
Thank you, students, for that very warm welcome. I now present to you Mrs. Toy Vermaak, Faculty Manager of Nursing and Ancillary Healthcare of Netcare Education, to do the welcome address.
Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, good morning to you all. How lovely to see so many of you here today, the important people. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you all on the behalf of the Netcare Education Faculty of Nursing and Ancillary Healthcare team to the special, first time ever national graduation. I'd like to welcome Dr. Richard Friedland, CEO of Netcare and Netcare Education. I've learned that. Thank you. Special welcome to you, Dr. Friedland. Dr. Shannon Nell, Group Director, Nursing and Nursing Education. Welcome, Shannon. Dr. Neba Nzwaiba, Group Director, HR and Transformation. Welcome, Neba. Mr. Jacques Duplessis, our Managing Director for the Hospital Division. Welcome, Jacques. Ms. Mandy Taupkin, General Manager, Emergency Transplant and CSI. Welcome, Mandy. Mr. Sanjay Kusal, Head of People Development and Employment Equity. Welcome, Sanjay. And then also welcome to our regional and hospital excos, the Netcare Education campuses and hospital-based staff, and our special guests. But most importantly, our graduates and special prize winners today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is a day of great celebration for all of us. It's a culmination of all the work that's gone into reaching this graduation day and of every one of the graduates' great achievements. The original seed you sowed when you started your studies is now flowering into a successful graduate, just as spring has sprung. And may I remark, it has taken a lot of work for everyone involved, for you to have grown into these lovely flowers that we see here in front of us right now. Graduates, congratulations to you all. I'd like to extend our absolute best wishes to you for a future in nursing that will be filled with opportunities and challenges that will energize you to continue in cultivating your knowledge, skill, and wisdom throughout your years as a nurse. And do it in such a manner that every patient you touch with your care and compassion will remember you as the person who made a difference to them in their time of need. Netcare Education management and staff are extremely proud of each and every one of you and your achievements. As you know, our passion is nursing and nursing education. And today again reminds us of the importance of education and training of nurses in Netcare and South Africa, especially with the phasing out of the legacy programs, implementation of the new, and the decreased number of students that we train. We know that it's very important, the work we have done. To the family and friends of our graduates, we are privileged that you could join us today, and please feel very welcome. You have played such an important role in our graduates' life over the journey over the last few years. We thank you for that. Graduates, this event is to recognize your education journey, your achievements, and the many sacrifices that have brought you to the celebration today, as well as the opportunities your future holds. In the last 3 years, the world as we know it has changed, and we all had to live, work, and learn in a different way than we did before. Now we are faced with a new normal. Change remains a constant as the wheel of life continues to turn and generates an excitement and uncertainty of the new beginnings, and provides our graduates with the best of both worlds to build their future in. The best of what we had before, as well as what the future holds. So it's a great opportunity for our graduates. In this setting, we are privileged to celebrate today the 2022 graduation, and it's with pride that we pay a tribute to all who have participated in this value journey of education and training. And we can say that has not been without considerable number of challenges. However, you have overcome them, and we have continued to grow from these learnings, overcoming the most difficult and challenging events, though tough as it may seem at the time, and often it takes longer than we wish or need. It contributes most to our personal and professional development. Netcare Education takes pride in the 997 nursing professionals that qualify from our institution this year. We are proud of all the nurses we train who have become intellectually capable and skilled healthcare providers who will continue to uphold the values of care, compassion and competence within the ethical boundaries of our profession, and who will ensure delivery of patient-centered health and care to our patients. In so doing, we will contribute to the health services of our country, while at the same time enjoy a rewarding career as a nursing professional. I'd like to salute our academic staff and the management for the passion and commitment to their students, to nursing and to Netcare Education. And to our graduates, thank you for their successful completing their program and their contributions to caring for our patients in trying times. A last little note to the graduates. The education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare today. It's a saying by Malcolm X, is unknown, but I thought it was very appropriate for today, because we are confident that you have prepared well and that you are ready to take the next step. Commence building your career as a qualified nurse, gaining experience and wisdom, and being a role model to other students. My wish for you is that you will always care for our patients with pride and in all you do. Remember today the special event and also the pledge you will take. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Vermaak, for the warm welcome address. What a special welcome, graduates. There you have it, a passport to your future. At this very special occasion, where we are hosting our graduates from 2022, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Ngeba Nzwayiba, Group Director, Human Resources and Transformation, to do the Netcare address. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Nzwayiba.
Thank you very much for that. Good morning to everyone. I'm Xhosa. In my language, we say molweni, ninjani, siyaphila nathi. For those that didn't understand that, it simply means hello, how are you? To our Chief Executive Officer at Netcare, Dr. Richard Friedland, to the Managing Director of Hospital Division, Mr. Jacques Duplessis, Dr. Shannon Nell, Group Director of Nursing, Mandy and colleagues and senior leadership at Netcare, to the management team as well as staff at Netcare Education, and most importantly, our colleagues who are graduating today, their families and friends. I greet you all. Graduations are amongst the most inspiring ceremonies I can think of in the world. For me, and I hope for many that are present here today, they are a beautiful celebration, but yet they are deeply telling about the discipline, about the dedication, and the resilience of those that are being celebrated today. Graduations are a testament of character and every trait that is required to succeed in a purpose-driven journey of pursuing knowledge for betterment of the self and, most importantly, for betterment of society. Today we have gathered here to celebrate our colleagues and loved ones who have demonstrated these traits and proven themselves, and today they are being rewarded for the great work that they have done. Mrs. Vermaak tells us that today we are celebrating the incredible achievement of 997 graduates. These comprise of 517 colleagues who are graduating on the bridging course that leads to enrollment as a registered nurse, 49 colleagues who are graduating with the new certificate in nursing. We are also celebrating 99 colleagues who have qualified on the management development programs, as well as 332 colleagues who received their in-service certificates. Before I extend congratulatory words to the graduates, as Africans, and I'm using this identity inclusively, we must always remember that our own proverb reminds us that it takes a village or a community to raise a child. Accordingly, please allow me to pay tribute to the families of each and every one that is graduating today, to the parents, the mothers, the fathers, the aunts, ogogo nomkhulu. You will notice a smile when I say that because some of us have a personal experience and we know how that grant money can extend beyond paraffin and millimil to support our education. To the partners, to the friends, and everybody that has supported you throughout your journey, we want to say thank you. We salute you for your sacrifices that you have made to support those who are graduating today. I am reminded of the words of Benjamin Franklin, who reminds us that an investment in knowledge always pays the best dividends. To the Netcare education community, that is Dr. Nell, Mrs. Vermaak, Gerda, as well as your academic and non-academic staff, thank you for dedicating your lives, reproducing the good quality carers you are, and providing a ladder for aspiring healthcare professionals to realize their dreams. We also salute you. To Netcare leadership, thank you for turning the workplace into a learning place where dreams can be realized. We thank you. Now, before I sit down, let me speak to those who are graduating today. I just want to let you know that our hearts are filled with pride and that we are beaming with joy at your outstanding achievement. We know that the journey has been long, hard, and most probably filled with many challenges and also memorable moments. We may never know fully what you went through in the process of acquiring this qualification, but what we do know is that you have made it and we are proud. The graduation always tells us that each of you is purpose-driven, that you are capable of setting goals and disciplined enough to ensure that you achieve such goals and purpose. Your graduation also tells us that you are resilient and that you have an ability to work through multi-challenges and pressures of life and retain focus to attain your goals. So congratulations. As you step into the next phase of your life, I have one small message for you, and then I sit down. I have borrowed this message from the wise and inspirational speech of the late Dr. Miles Monroe. Dr. Miles Monroe encourages us to die empty. It may seem odd to speak of such a theme at a graduation ceremony, but Dr. Miles observed that the wealthiest place in the world is not the rich oil fields of Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, or Saudi Arabia. He observed that it is not the rich diamond and gold fields of South Africa. Neither is it the silver mines of Central America or the gold mines of South America. He observed that the wealthiest place on earth is actually the cemetery, the graveyard. He tells us that the graveyard is filled with books that were never written, with music that no one will ever hear, with paintings that no wall will ever see, with poetry that no one will ever read, with businesses that were never opened, and ideas that will never come to fruition, and dreams that will never be realized. He tells us that the grave is filled with powerful human beings who never dared to unleash their potential, who, for one reason or the other, did not pursue their dreams and life purpose with fortitude. Like Dr. Monroe, I have come today not only to congratulate you on a great achievement, but also to persuade you to constantly question the purpose of your existence as you step into the world that will forever be challenging you and sometimes make you feel small and doubt your own capabilities. We've come to encourage you to draw deeper into your inner strength. Remember that you are ordained with seeds of greatness, that you were born for such a time as this to be an agent of positive change and to allow nothing to stop you from blessing the universe with your talents and gifts and your patience and others with the best and compassionate care ever experienced. From all of us in the Netcare family, we say congratulations. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nzwaiba, for your inspiring words of wisdom. would like to now call upon the Netcare Education Choir to deliver a special item.
Sangena
want to thank our choir and Sister Rejoice for their beautiful voices and sharing your talents with us today. Well done, choir. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Dr. Richard Friedland, our Netcare and Netcare Education CEO, to say a few words. We are very privileged to have you here today. You always inspire our staff and graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Richard Friedland.
Sanbonani, Dumelang, Molweni, Absheni, Goeiemorgen, and good morning. Wow, wow, wow. It's just, what a day, and what an incredible celebration, and what a historic moment. Yeehaw! Halala! I never heard that. Let's hear it again. You know, today, as Dr. Nswayiba said, is also a day of gratitude, of immense gratitude. To be able to recognize your loved ones, your families, your partners, your villages and communities that made today possible, that made enormous sacrifices, personal sacrifices, to ensure that you are sitting and standing before us on this historic day. And I know that for some of you in this audience, you are the very first in your family to be graduating. Wow, what an achievement. And so on behalf of Netcare, our entire Netcare family, I want to say to your families, to your partners, to your loved ones, friends in your communities, siyabonga kakhulu. Ngiyabonga, Nkosi. Thank you. Baie dankie. I want to evoke that beautiful phrase, that concept in Zulu of siyanibona. We see you, we acknowledge you, and we appreciate you. You're part of our community and part of our Netcare family. But I also want to extend a thank you, an enormous thank you, to this nursing faculty led by Toy Vermaak and of course by Dr. Shannon Nell, for the extraordinary commitment you have had despite our challenges, despite the ups and downs and vicissitudes, to training the next generation of nursing leaders. You deserve a standing ovation. Let's give it to them. I can't hear you, folks. Let's give it to them. Yeehaw! Come on. All right. That's better. And I want to pay tribute to Dr. Shannon Nell, who for decades has driven nursing education and been a bastion of what nursing stands for. We recognize your own personal challenges at the moment and the difficulties you're going through. And I want you to know, the whole Netcare family stands with you. You are in our hearts. You're in our prayers at this difficult time, Shannon. Graduates, you all represent the dreams and aspirations, not just of your family, but of our entire nation. At a time like this of such extraordinary hardship and turmoil, not just in our own beloved country, but indeed across the world, your graduation and the potential of what you all individually and collectively can achieve in growing and building our nation has never been more important. We've survived the terrible COVID-19 pandemic. Many of you were on the front line, putting your lives at risk, and were true frontline heroes. You had to deal with that existential risk of coming to work and not knowing, am I going to contract this virus? Am I going to take it home to my family? Am I potentially going to die? And we lost 75 frontline heroes on the front line. We saw it in our own wards. And I saw the devastating impact it had on our colleagues, having to nurse our own colleagues. And yet you made an enormous sacrifice to South Africa. You know, in the beginning of this pandemic, we as healthcare workers and our nurses were shunned. I remember right in the beginning of March and April of 2020, our nurses in KwaZulu-Natal, particularly at St. Augustine's, couldn't climb onto taxis because people said, no, you're bringing the virus. You messengers of death, don't come near us. And so they had to change their clothing, and we were stigmatized. But at the end of those 2 years, I know now that when you are in your communities, when you're in shopping centers, when you're out and about and people say, so tell me, what is it that you do? I'm a healthcare worker. I'm a nurse. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for the enormous contribution that you have made to society. So take a bow, colleagues. We have an incredibly important role to play in society, not from an arrogant or immodest way. We are there to serve people at their greatest time of need, at their most vulnerable time. And so today is a celebration of your graduation, of your future. But it is also an acknowledgement of the extraordinary role that you and we as healthcare workers play in society. We've got an enormous role of helping people at their greatest time of need. But importantly, we can't cure everyone. We've learnt that in COVID. But we can bring real compassion and kindness and treat them with dignity. Now, as you embark on your career in nursing, you're going to have many wonderful and amazing happy moments and experiences. But it's inevitable that you'll also face challenges and obstacles, some of them on a daily basis. The question will be, as it is for all of us, how am I going to deal with this? For example, patients may be rude to you. They may even be abusive. And you may even have to deal with an unreasonable manager. Never in Netcare, of course. Just a few examples of what you might deal with. And so I have a very simple message for you today. Being challenged in life is inevitable, but being defeated is optional. Those are the words of Roger Crawford. Many of you will not know. Was one of the first American tennis players who entered the professional circuit with enormous disability. He was born with a condition where he only had two fingers on his left hand, one finger on his right hand. He was born without a right leg and only 2 toes on his left leg. And yet he competed. And he said, being challenged in life is inevitable, but being defeated is optional. In our daily lives, we have a simple choice of dealing with situations. Are we going to react to them, or are we going to respond? As healthcare workers, for example, we might be confronted with an angry patient who's screaming and shouting with us. Are we going to react and become angry because that triggers us? Or are we going to pause and choose to respond rather than to react in a calm and rational way? Professor Viktor Frankl, who was the founder of the School of Logotherapy, said, that is the real meaning of free choice. It's that split second between action and reaction where we have that choice to decide how are we going to respond or are we going to react. And often in nursing at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're absolutely exhausted and you've got overburdened by the number of patients you have to deal with, there will be those triggers that want to force you to react. And we have that choice of deciding, are we going to react or are we going to respond? And in that split second, we can exercise our free choice. And so often in the workplace, in our personal lives, dealing with challenges that are immense, we feel defeated, distraught, and demotivated. But please remember the words of Roger Crawford. Being challenged in life is inevitable, but being defeated is optional. We have a simple choice in life, and we see it now in our own country. We're facing so many challenges as we look around. A massive rise in the cost of living, real poverty in our doorstep. So many of our nurses, of our healthcare workers in Netcare, are looking after 2, 3, 4, 5 families who are out of work. We've got loads of unemployment in our country. There's load shedding, political infighting, and the list continues. And so again, we have a simple choice. And what is that choice? We can become victims of our circumstance and bemoan the situation. Woe is us in this beautiful country of ours. Or, alternatively, we can choose to become architects of our future and our success and actively participate in changing that situation, whether it's our own personal one and the challenges we're facing, or it is in our own country. And that's exactly the philosophy we have in Netcare, colleagues and graduates. Despite these challenges, despite the difficulties we are facing in South Africa, we will find solutions and be part of building, contributing, and rebuilding our country and society. And so my message finally to you graduates today is a simple one. Being challenged in life is inevitable, but being defeated is optional. Join us in the Netcare family. Join us in becoming architects of our future, not only in your own lives and personal circumstances, but also in helping us to create a society of opportunity for all, that embraces equality and compassion, that treats every single person in our society with dignity and respect, and showers all in the language of love. As nurses and as healthcare workers, no one is better placed to do this than you. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Friedland, for those amazing words of hope and motivation to our graduates. I now call upon our Netcare Education National SRC representative, Ms. Michelle Foster-Jones, to do an SRC address.
Good morning and welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is a distinct honor to have the privilege of being able to address yet another success story of Netcare education, you, our graduates of 2022. In my opening speech of last year's online graduation ceremony, I embraced all frontline workers, but particularly us as nurses. I stated, what a time to be alive, what a time to be a frontline worker, and what a time to be a nurse. A profound statement suited for the year of the nurse and all of the challenges we've then since faced. But overcoming these challenges has not only proven the magnitudes of resilience we possess, it's emphasized the importance of how dynamic we prove to be and how our abilities of adapting to our circumstances is the selfless essence of our profession as a nurse. As we embarked on what seemed to be an inconceivable journey of transforming our traditional methods of studying into online studying, in the very limited time frames, might I add, we just remain consistent in proving just how dynamic, caring, and passionate we truly are, and how powerful we are when we stand united, making the inconceivable, a credible reality. That, the true essence of nursing. I stand here addressing both you as the graduates, as well as Netcare Education, in the sheer determination and perseverance that has inevitably allowed you graduates to obtain your qualifications and make an auspicious beginning that will bring you prosperity, happiness, and good fortune. Stay true to the selfless nature that you possess. Never lose sight of the principles and values that guide you as an individual nurse, and as well as those that were taught by our academics, that guide our nursing profession, ensuring you never lose your ability to show compassion, empathy, and sympathy in all that you do. Truly a unique quality that Netcare Education places emphasis on growing in all of us. Be proud as you receive your accolade. Be appreciative of the guidance and mentoring afforded to you by our academics, and believe in the incredible capabilities you now possess entering your profession. I would like to extend a personal, unobligated gratitude to Netcare Education, from the administrative members to our academics, both theoretically and clinically, as well as the entire management team on both a national level as well as an individual campus level, for the great amounts of effort you've put into maintaining consistent levels of excellence in quality training, as well as the enormous amounts of provision and efforts made to ensure that all graduates are celebrated. I salute you. On behalf of the National SRC team, we applaud your deserved achievements, and we wish you best in starting on your new journey. I leave you with the reminder that our only limits are the ones that we create in our minds. Go and be the best version of a nurse you can be. Congratulations once again. We salute you.
Thank you, Michelle, for those beautiful and warm words to our graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to the presentation of the special prizes. During the course of their studies, many of our graduates achieved significant standards of excellence. This part of the program acknowledges those graduates who have consistently excelled. The outstanding results of our prize winners would not have been possible without the consistent and dedicated contribution of both the campus and hospital-based academic staff. As we award these prizes, we would like to acknowledge and thank them for their ongoing dedication and significant contribution made to our graduates and the nursing profession. I now call upon Mrs. Ronald Diache, Campus Manager, Netcare Education Eastern Cape, to award the Bato Pele Netcare Education Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education Eastern Cape campus. Bestowed upon a Netcare student who was placed in a public hospital for work-integrated learning, who best epitomizes the Bato Pele principles within the hospital and the campus environment. Candidates are nominated and nominations supported with motivations by the public health, hospital services, and/or Netcare education staff. The campus management team considers all motivations and selects the most appropriate candidate for the award. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Dora Nginza Hospital please join Mrs. Diache to present the prize? This award goes to Liesel Cornelia Labuskachny. Congratulations, Liesel. You may be seated. Mrs. Diache, please remain on stage for the next award. Mrs. Ronald Diago will now award the Netcare Kyla Hospital Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education Eastern Cape campus. Bestowed upon a student employed by Netcare Kyla Hospital who demonstrated the most professional growth for the duration of the program. Candidates are nominated and nominations supported with motivations by Netcare Kyla Hospital staff. The Netcare Kyla management team considers all motivations and selects the most appropriate candidate for the award. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Netcare Kyla Hospital please join Mrs. Diago to present the prize? This award goes to Joy Windvogel. Congratulations, Joy and management. You may be seated. Mrs. Diago, please remain on stage for the next award. Mrs. Diago will now award the Netcare Green Acres Hospital Rob Russell Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education Eastern Cape campus, bestowed upon a student employed by Netcare Green Acres Hospital who demonstrates the most professional growth for the duration of a program. Candidates are nominated and nominations supported with motivations by Netcare Green Acres Hospital staff. The Netcare Green Acres management team considers all motivations and selects the most appropriate candidate for the award. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Netcare Green Acres Hospital please join Mrs. Diago to present the award? This award, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Kim Kamis. Congratulations, Kim, management, and Mrs. Diago. You may be seated. I now call upon Mrs. Ilse Crawford, Campus Manager, Netcare Education, Western Cape Campus, to award the Melomed Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education, Western Cape Campus. Bestowed upon a student employed by Melomed Hospital Holdings, who in accordance with the South African Nursing Council Regulation 683, as amended, obtained the highest overall clinical and theoretical mark for the summative assessments. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Melomed Mitchell's Plain Medical Center join Mrs. Crawford to present the award? This award goes to a graduate achieving an overall result of 78%. Ntutuzelo Pilisande Sanku. Congratulations, Tetuzelo and management. You may be seated. Mrs. Crawford, please remain on stage for the next award. Mrs. Crawford will now award the Melomed Professional Development Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education Western Cape campus, bestowed upon a student employed by Melomed Hospital Holdings, who demonstrated the most professional growth for the duration of a program. Excellent overall work performance, evidence of initiatives taken, ability to take responsibility for themselves and others. The Melomed Hospital management team considers all motivations and selects the most appropriate candidate for the award. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Melomed Mitchell's Plain Medical Center please join Mrs. Crawford to present the prize. This award goes to graduate Intutuzelo Pilisande Santu. Mrs. Crawford will now award the Netcare Blauberg Hospital Professional Development Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education Western Cape campus, bestowed upon a student employed by Netcare Blauberg Hospital who demonstrated the most professional growth for the duration of a program, excellent overall work performance, evidence of initiatives taken, and the ability to take responsibility for themselves and others. The Netcare Blauberg management team considers all motivations and selects the most appropriate candidate for the award. This award goes to Sharoma Singh. Congratulations, Sharoma and management. You may be seated. Mrs. Crawford will now award the Netcare Christian Barnard Memorial Hospital Professional Development Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education Western Cape campus, bestowed upon a student employed by Netcare Christian Barnard Hospital, who demonstrated the most professional growth for the duration of a program, excellent overall work performance, evidence of initiatives taken, ability to take responsibility for themselves and others. The Netcare Christian Barnard Hospital management team considers all motivations and selects the most appropriate candidate for the award. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Netcare Christian Barnard Memorial Hospital please join Mrs. Crawford to present the prize? This award goes to Priscilla Mvumvu. Mrs. Crawford will now award the Netcare Kales River Hospital Professional Development Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education Western Cape campus, bestowed upon a student employed by Netcare Kales River Hospital who demonstrated the most professional growth for the duration of a program, excellent overall work performance, evidence of initiatives taken, and the ability to take responsibility for themselves and others. The Netcare Kales River Hospital management team considers all motivations and selects the most appropriate candidate for the award. This award goes to graduate Jodine Jacobs. Congratulations, Jodine and management. Mrs. Crawford will now award the Netcare N1 City Hospital Professional Development Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education Western Cape campus, bestowed upon a student employed by Netcare N1 City Hospital who demonstrated the most professional growth for the duration of a program, excellent overall work performance, evidence of initiatives taken, and the ability to take responsibility for themselves and others. The Netcare N1 City management team considers all motivations and selects the most appropriate candidate for the award. This award goes to graduate Joanita Deviland Sant. Congratulations, Juanita and management. You may be seated. Mrs. Crawford will now award the UCT Private Academic Hospital Professional Development Award. This award is awarded to a graduate from the Netcare Education Western Cape campus, bestowed upon a student employed by UCT Academic Hospital who demonstrated the most professional growth for the duration of a program, excellent overall work performance, evidence of initiatives taken, ability to take responsibility for themselves and others. The UCT Private Academic Management Team considers all motivations and selects the most appropriate candidate for the award. Could a member from Hospital and Regional Management of UCT Private Academic Hospital join Mrs. Crawford on stage to present the prize? This award goes to Rosalinda Smith. Congratulations, Rosalinda. Management and Mrs. Crawford, you may be seated. It is now time for a special message from one of our leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Ms. Mandy Topkin on stage. Ms. Topkin is the General Manager, Emergency Trauma Transplant and CSI, and the most amazing nurse and human being. We are privileged to have you deliver your message.
Hi, everybody. And I'm sorry that you have to stand during my message, but it will be a 5-minute message, and it's about who we are in Netcare. If you look at Netcare as a company, it's a change maker. To every single one of you here, your career in nursing is being part of a change maker. And change maker means that you've got to stand up and say no to the mediocrity, and say no to things that are not done properly, and be the most amazing nurse and compassionate nurse that you can be in our company Netcare, and when you move on to other companies, because we're such a great company, we train for everyone. And I want to ask you if there's anyone in the audience today that is prepared to stand up and put their hand in the air and say, I am a change maker. Well, let's see you stand it individually. I'm a change maker. Okay, and that means what have you committed to? You have committed your life to other people. You have committed your care to people. And you have committed to be compassionate to you first. Something which I have now learned 30 years later is how to be a little bit compassionate to myself. But I believe that healthcare workers come into healthcare because we, above everybody, need more compassion than anyone else. And so we seek out healthcare so that we can put on other people what we ourselves need most. And that is compassion from us, compassion to our colleagues, compassion to our patients. I know from running an emergency department that 99.99999% of my patients come because they have pain. Pain in the heart, pain from their heads, emotional pain, and then physical pain from a fracture, from a tumor, from something else. And all they are looking for, they're not looking for the morphine. They're looking for you. They're looking to see you. They're looking to see that you care, that you make a difference, and that you are so involved in their care that you don't make a mistake, that you are personally asking them what matters to them. I can stand here for 55 minutes and talk about how important it is to make a difference in the world, and we can't do it one at a time. It takes a community to make a difference. It takes a community to care for each other. it takes a community to care for our patients. Netcare is the community you have chosen. Some of you have chosen Melomed as your community, but you have to be change makers. And by change makers, we'll make a difference, not only to nursing, to our profession, to South Africa. My most favorite patient, and I've had many of them, was Mr. Nelson Mandela, my most favorite patient. And I can tell you that he said one thing which is important. What South Africa needs now, more than anything else, is compassion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Mandy Topkin, for the touching message of compassion. I'm sure our graduates enjoyed it as much as I did. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue with the presentation of our special prizes. We will now award the In-Service Certificate Program Academic Awards for enrolled nurses. These awards are awarded to graduates from the Netcare Education Gauteng Southwest and Western Cape campuses. Bestowed upon the enrolled nurse who showed qualities of excellence and maintained the highest academic standard in an in-service certificate program, the highest overall average for the clinical and theoretical components for the formative and summative assessments in an in-service certificate program for enrolled nurses. A minimum mark of 75% is required. Eligible award winners are those who have not failed any, not even one, clinical or theoretical, formative or summative assessment. I now call upon Ms. Cindy Menino, Campus Manager, Netcare Education Gauteng Southwest, to award the In-Service Certificate Program Academic Award for enrolled nurses for Netcare Education Gauteng Southwest Campus. Could a member from Hospital and Regional Management of the Netcare Krugersdorp Hospital please join Ms. Menino to present the prize. This award goes to a graduate achieving an overall result of 84%. Surita van Kolla. Congratulations, Rita and management, and Ms. Menino, you may be seated. I now call upon Mrs. Crawford to award the In-Service Certificate Program Academic Award for enrolled nurses for Netcare Education Western Cape Campus. Could a member from Hospital and Regional Management of Netcare Blauberg Hospital please join Mrs. Crawford to present the prize? This award goes to a graduate achieving an overall result of 77.6%. Jessica Nuku. Congratulations, Jessica, management, and Mrs. Crawford. We will now award the In-Service Certificate in Elementary Critical Care Nursing for Registered Nurses Academic Awards. These awards are awarded to graduates from the Netcare Education Eastern Cape Campus, Gauteng Southwest Campus, KwaZulu-Natal, and the Western Cape Campus. Bestowed upon the student who showed qualities of excellence and maintained the highest academic standard in the in-service certificate in elementary critical care nursing for registered nurses, the highest overall average for the clinical and theoretical components for the formative and summative assessments in the in-service certificate in elementary critical care nursing for registered nurses. A minimum mark of 75% is required. Eligible award winners are those who have not failed any, not even one, clinical or theoretical, formative or summative assessments. I now call upon Mrs. Diache to award the in-service certificate in elementary critical care nursing for registered nurses academic award for the Netcare Education Eastern Cape campus. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Netcare Green Acres Hospital please join Mrs. Diache to present the prize? This award goes to a graduate achieving an overall result of 80%. Marlies van Rooyen. Congratulations, Marlies and management. Mrs. Diache, you may be seated. I now call upon Ms. Menino to award the in-service certificate in elementary critical care nursing for registered nurses academic award for Netcare Education Gauteng Southwest campus. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Netcare Alberton Hospital please join Ms. Menino to present the prize? This award goes to a graduate achieving an overall result of 84%. Heather Wilding. Congratulations, Heather, management, and Ms. Menino. You may be seated. I now call upon Ms. Marianne Theron, Campus Manager, Netcare Education KwaZulu-Natal Campus, to award the in-service certificate in elementary critical care nursing for registered nurses academic award for Netcare Education KwaZulu-Natal. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Netcare Parklands Hospital please join Ms. Theron to present the award? This award goes to a graduate achieving an overall result of 77.5%. Alicia Ramdat. Thank you, Alicia and Mrs. Theron. You may be seated. I now call upon Mrs. Crawford to award the in-service certificate in elementary critical care nursing for registered nurses academic award from the Netcare Education Western Cape campus. Could a member from hospital and regional management of Netcare Blauberg Hospital Please join Mrs. Crawford to present the prize. This award goes to a graduate achieving an overall result of 81.5%. Janet Tatenda Murambika. Congratulations, Janet, management, and Mrs. Crawford. You may be seated. We will now award the In-Service Certificate in Trauma and Emergency Nursing for Registered Nurses Academic Award. These awards are awarded to graduates from the Netcare Education Gauteng Southwest Campus, KwaZulu-Natal, and Western Cape Campus, bestowed upon the student who showed qualities of excellence and maintained the highest academic standard in the In-Service Certificate in Trauma and Emergency Nursing for Registered Nurses. The highest overall average for the clinical and theoretical components for the formative and summative assessments in the In-Service Certificate in Trauma and Emergency Nursing for Registered Nurses. A minimum mark of 75% is required. Eligible award winners are those who have not failed any, not even one, clinical or theoretical, formative or summative assessments. I now call upon Ms. Menino to award the In-Service Certificate in Trauma and Emergency Nursing for Registered Nurses Academic Award for the Netcare Education Gauteng Southwest Campus. Could a member from Hospital and Regional Management of Netcare Pine Haven Hospital please join Ms. Menino to present the prize?